What was that? What just happened? That was the start. I wanted to talk about the new Ergatta. I gotta pause. That was a lot up first. Let's take it back to the start. So what was I doing? Well, recently, there's been a rash of new machines that have come out into the market in the rowing machine world. Everybody kind of wants to get into this space. You probably saw the Hydro video, Hydro versus Concept 2. Well, there's another company that I'd heard a little about and I'd seen, but I hadn't actually gotten any communication from them. Well, the name of that company is Ergatta. It's essentially a smart tablet on top of a water rower base, and got in contact with them. They sent one my way and I just showed up here. So I figured, yeah, let me do like a first review. What are my thoughts on this thing? And that sounded like a great idea until I created my profile, got into the system. It kind of casually leads you into create your profile, set it up yourself, and then it says calibrate machine. I was like, yeah, okay, so it's probably gonna ask me for like some power strokes. First calibration workout, 2K for time? What? Here we are, post 2K. Apparently I've now calibrated my machine. Thanks, Ergatta. But I wanted to give you my initial thoughts on this thing. So what did I get when this Ergatta showed up to my house? Well, number one, it's a private delivery. So there's a private delivery company that comes, sets it up, they deliver it to your space, turn it on, make sure everything's functioning properly, and you've got all the parts and bits and pieces that you need. Interestingly, because this is built on a water rower, you do need a siphon so that you can add or remove water to the tank. You also have to have your cleansing tablets to make sure that the water doesn't get funky. But other than that, it shows up, it's hand delivered, it's plugged in, turned on, make sure everything works, and then you're off and running. What did I have to do? Well, I had to create a profile. I was actually a fan of the setup process. It was pretty easy. I found that it actually automatically links to Strava, so I was available to immediately link up my Strava account. I set my height, my weight, my age, I created a profile. Simple enough. The fun part, as you saw, is that the calibration happens, arguably that happens first. It kind of nudges you towards getting calibrated. So that was good because it gets a machine under your belt. Now, from what I understand, I haven't tested this yet because this is my first flush, but from what I learned on a little bit of research is that Ergatta learns with you, and that is interesting. And I think that that's probably my biggest kudos to what they're doing, is that they're intended to grow and learn as you improve or as your performance improves. So you take that calibration row because then it starts to manipulate your splits for every workout and give you the basis for what you're supposed to do. For example, if I go into my dashboard here and I click on my intensity zones, I now have a paddle, steady, race, and sprint zone all predetermined for me. I pulled a 6:11 2K, fastest 2K of my life. Yes. Everybody knows though that water rower and Concept 2 are very different, so they're not comparable. But I pulled a 6:11 on the water rower. That means that my sprint pace is a 128, my race pace is a 139 to 129, steady 155 to 140, and paddle 225 to 156. I like that that's predetermined, and that's pretty cool because it means I can go into a workout, it's gonna tell me, hey, what zone do we want you working in for that workout? Now, I have not actually gone into any workouts yet. Again, this is first flush, so what's a first experience for me like? Well, I will say that 2K was a startling way to get on this machine for the first time. The one thing they did have going for them, they did have a quick 5-minute tutorial on how to row. Then I thought that was a valuable startup. I would critique that video a little bit, pretty choppy, covers, I mean, the basics, yes, good, but it was pretty quick. They tried to cover a lot. And so that in and of itself, good attempt. I'll call that a good attempt. I would say there's room for improvement on there, like how to get somebody going on the machine from that perspective. With that being said then, I'm also in my workout history. I obviously only have one to look at, but it gives me good data here. I see my total meters row, my time, my best split, my average split, my total calories burned. If I click on it, nothing happens, no big deal. So then I go to my dashboard, and this gives me kind of a calibration of everything that I've done on the machine from months, weeks, and days. I can break it down by distance, average and best split, average power, calories, all the, let's just call it all the data you would expect. What is really interesting though is, I don't know if you can see this on this dashboard, is these are my screens. I've got push programs, interval workouts, race workouts, and open row. So already I'm into, hey, what is it that you want to do? A push program labeled collection of workouts that help you reach your goals for endurance, power, and technique. If I click on that, I haven't actually gone into this yet. So having taken a look at each of the different workout types, the thing that I'm most intrigued by, if I'm being honest, it's the interval workouts. And the reason being, I like the way that they have you integrate into those interval workouts. The interesting piece is that they give you this little spinning ball
and they want you to stay in a target zone, and then it helps you understand if you are in that target zone the way that you need to be. And that's inherently cool to me. It's different, it's forward thinking, it's unique, something that I haven't seen before, and I think that visualization is gonna be a really interesting prospect to a lot of people. So that's my general rundown right now. Now, I do want to give an actual personal input on this, because I think a lot of you guys are wondering, what do I actually think of this machine? Well, let's start from here. Ergatta is built on top of Water Rower. You can probably tell that, maybe you were guessing it, but yes, it is in partnership with Water Rower, and Water Rower notorious for partnering with lots of people. So they will make a custom machine, they'll put on whatever material you want, they'll make it black for City Row, and they'll use they have a double rail or a monorail system, I believe. So there could be a center single rail, or there could be double. This is a double rail, so those, from what I understand, can in fact impact the anatomical positions on this machine. So here's my first critique. Number one, on a Water Rower, I've always felt that the feet don't sit quite right. They've always felt like they're a little bit too high for me, and it creates this kind of pinched catch position. Now, I alleviated that by dropping my feet lower than I would when I'm rowing on other machines. So the feet sat a little bit lower, and that helped me feel a little bit more comfortable in that like hip position at the catch, and that alleviated a little bit. But here's the big one. Number two, the feet are quite close together. You got that to deal with. Women might not have as big of a problem with this, but for men, let me just say, I was happy that I had on compression under my shorts. With the legs being that close together, it does create some challenges. I don't know how to say that politely, but it does create some challenges with the legs being so close together. That's just something to note that I picked up on almost immediately within my first strokes on the machine. So something to know. Next up, there's the water function. And this is something I've always been a little bit critical of, never overtly, because I think with it comes its benefits as well. So you've got the water tank. Now, where's the issue here? Well, it means that I can't easily adjust my resistance. Now, it does come with a siphon that allows me to take water out, put water in. So you can adjust it in that way, but it's not as simple as just throwing a lever up or down or digitally changing your resistance, depending on what kind of machine you're used to. So there's that. However, the sound on this is downright beautiful. The whoosh of Water Rower water tank just sounds relaxing. I could take this away, I could take away the Ergatta monitor, and it just sounds nice. At the end of the day, this is much quieter. It sounds really nice in a small space. You don't have to worry about the Water Rower giving you as much of a sound assault as some other machines might. So another critique that I have is that the calibration takes several strokes to really take hold on the Ergatta monitor. That was something that I noticed in my first strokes. Is it took me maybe 5, 6, 7 strokes before the split and the stroke rate felt like they caught up to what I was doing, and I'm not exactly sure what that was about. So I wasn't sure what any of my starting scores were, which meant that right out of the gates, I was kind of questioning. I was like, whoa, I'm moving way faster or way slower on the stroke rate or the split than I thought I was going to. And then all of a sudden they just kind of boop, jumped into place. And so I'd like to see the ability for that to calibrate quickly, maybe in the first stroke. So those are my main critiques of the machine. The benefits that I see here, number one, it's a great looking machine. Cherry wood with this just like nice, beautiful finish. I mean, and it's real wood from what I can tell. I don't think it's a veneer. So you've got this beautiful wood machine. I love woodworking, and so I respect the craft that goes into making a really nice looking machine. It could easily sit in the middle of a room and I would happily show this machine off. So this screen size, 17.3 inches. It feels appropriate. It's bigger than a PM5, but not overwhelming. And I think that's actually kind of nice. I think the size that they chose on this is a really nice monitor display size, and I liked, frankly, that first experience. As a smart machine, call it a smart machine, it does have to be plugged into power, so there's that to note. You know, that's probably my biggest critique of any smart machine. I hate being connected to an outlet somewhere and having a cord running across the room. If there was a way to power these without that, that would be amazing. I know there's a limitation there, but I just don't like having a cable running across my floor in my gym. They just have to be plugged in. Why? So who is Ergatta for? Number one, somebody who's going to enjoy gaming or gamification and something a little bit different. Somebody who wants a bit of involvement in their workout rather than just following along and then stepping off the machine and forgetting about the workout. The tracking is an important part of this, and so somebody who enjoys their data, they're going to get a lot of value out of a workout here. The other kind of person that's going to enjoy this is the person who enjoys the visual identity of a beautiful cherry wood rowing machine that has a whoosh of the tank, right? That's very romantic, you could say, when it comes to a water rower, plus the graphics that come to this. There's a lot of beauty in this system, and so somebody who appreciates that, wants this to be a centerpiece of their workout room, you're also going to grab that audience. And so if that's you, you might find that the Ergatta is a machine for you. And frankly, I think this is going to skew more towards the person who perhaps already enjoys the machine, but they're looking for a bit of a better step, I should say. The person who is going to gravitate to some of the other smart machines on the market are people who are looking for just a class experience. They love Peloton, they love the studio experience, they're happy going or jumping on a Peloton, doing a class and walking away. Whereas this is going to take a little bit of investment as evidenced by that calibration workout that's necessary to get started. So when it comes to my final notes on this, do I think it's a good machine? I do. The machine feels, again, it's pretty. I like what I'm seeing on the monitor here. Does it have some areas where it can improve? It does. I feel like the machine could be more robust. It does feel a little bit light at times if I'm really cranking on the machine. But do I think that they're onto something? I do, and that's my honest personal opinion about this, is I think there is value to be had in what they're doing, and I think they're taking a unique step in the right direction. So that is my overall first impression. I am gonna obviously spend a lot more time playing with this. I'm gonna stack this up against other machines. I do want to say thank you to Ergatta for sending me this machine for testing and being able to make this video for you. And if you guys decide that you want to buy this machine, there's a link in the description below where you can purchase your Ergatta, of which wait times are going to occur, as with just about every rowing machine company in the world right now. Don't forget, hit that subscribe button and the bell next to it, because that means you'll get alerted when I come out with new videos. And that means you can watch them and watch cool stuff with us. So with that being said, if you're looking for more and you want to find other reviews on machines, don't hesitate to check out this playlist where you're going to find all of our machine reviews and my thoughts on any of the machines that are out there right now.